This is the weekly recap. Every hiccup on the map. From incident IQ to the fix on tap. What we learned last week makes this week better for you.
Hi, this is Mike Simmons, your host of the weekly recap. Today is Monday, April 6th. I can't believe we're already in April. And what makes this week even better is we already don't have any teachers or students in the building. I think everyone's on spring break. And we've got a short week here as site technicians. We've got Monday, Tuesday, half day, Wednesday. This is a perfect time to get that ticket count down. All right, talking about ticket counts, here's the agenda today. And so we're going to talk about the new Chromebook status, and then computer labs, Mac labs, Windows labs, and then printing files like PDFs or JPEG photos, and maybe the best practice for that. And so now one thing I noticed is we did not have a status called waiting on parts. And I was surprised because as a site technician, you'll work a Chromebook ticket, and let's say you don't have the battery part and you don't know what to do, so you might put it on hold, or you had different other statuses. And so I added a new status called waiting on parts. It's basically where the site tech is out of parts and you've opened a quick ticket with the warehouse team requesting more parts. So all you have to do is on the status, just put on here waiting on parts. And I think that's a good description because it helps both you and the requester be able to see what's the status of the ticket and what part are we at in the journey of getting this ticket closed. And when I talked with the warehouse team, they said don't worry about having to call or check in for the parts. They will deliver the parts once they arrive. Actually, they've gotten good 5 stars about they're out the same day or not the next day whenever they have things in supply. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is triggered. No, that's not my teenage daughters. Sometimes they get triggered emotional. No, this is different. Triggered is anytime the machine, like you have a computer lab, it has to check in with the management console. Right now, this is an image of JAMF Cloud, and that's our management console for Mac. And something we added inside of self-service, thanks to the help of David Soto, is run JAMF policy. And what this will do is it will check in the machine to our JAMF management console. And the reason why that's important is anytime you have policies or applications or things that the machine needs, it needs to check in. Same with the Windows machine. And so Windows machines, you may want to go around your labs and make sure that the machines are on or restarted. And that way they will check in, run policy updates, and get any of the applications that they need. But I had about 80 computers that have not checked in the last 90 days or so. That was a big red flag. And so please go around the lab, make sure it's powered on, log in, run any policy updates. That'll be a huge help. And I just go to the history and it shows done. Simple as that. Not too hard. And I know there's a habit of people just shutting the machines off when they're done with it. As a site technician, just kind of go in behind them and power them back on. It's not going to waste power. It's definitely going to help, and that will help reduce tickets when it comes to computer labs. I just wanted to give you guys that tip and trick. The other trend we noticed is some people are having difficulty with printing either PDFs or image files like JPEGs. On Windows 11 machines, they've got that new Windows Photo app, and it doesn't really print the best. And then also PDFs, speaking of policies, if there's a policy that blocks like a pop-up window, if you're trying to print from a web browser, it's going to confuse it and think the file needs to be blocked like a pop-up block. And so the best way around that is you want to make sure that your Chrome browser is set to download the PDFs. And so in the knowledge base, you can search how to download PDFs in Chrome. But here's how you do it. All you have to do is hit the 3 dots, go to Privacy Security. And then once we're on Privacy and Security, we're going to scroll down a little bit, and we're looking for something called Additional Content Settings, and then there's a PDF Documents. And then inside of PDF documents, it's going to have two options. There's two radio buttons. One says download PDFs. The other one says open PDFs in Chrome. What you want is to be able to download it, because once it downloads the file, it's going to have a lot easier time printing those files. And that will help clear up tickets. And then with Windows 11, the Windows Photo application, same idea. It's having a hard time printing from the app, and so you may want to just change the default apps. Go to Settings, Default Apps, and then change it to Paint. Remember Microsoft Paint? On Windows 10 machines, Paint worked beautifully when it came time to print a photo, and that'll be a lot easier. And then make sure that the JPEG is downloaded properly and the PDF is downloaded. Go to the Downloads folder and then just simply print. From there, it's going to make a world of difference. Well, I thank you guys so much for tuning in to the weekly recap. I hope that as you take a few days off this week, that you get unplugged and you get kind of rejuvenated, refueled for when we come back. Next week, we're going to have an in-depth training about network at Tech Talk Tuesday. And then next month, we're going to talk about inventory. And I hope you guys enjoy this short week. And we'll see you guys again next time on the weekly recap.